Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami Mdletshe, and on this channel siyazibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senze ama-reviews or ama-recaps, siyaphinda-ke futhi sikhulume ngama-celebrities ethu ala eMzansi. Uma ngabe kokuqala ujoyina namhlanje and you happen to like our content, do not forget to press the subscribe button and the notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. You guys, those abafuna ukuba ama-members kule channel, there's a join button. Laba abafuna ukusinika imali, there's a thanks button. I already know that you know how to use that button because you are using it. And thank you so much to everybody that waits and watches my adverts that run throughout this video, you guys. Listen, I want to talk about Uthando nesthembu, you guys. If you are tired of us talking about Uthando nesthembu, listen, this is okhuluma ngalo, okay? So khuluma ngalo luzo and the next 3 months after liphelile because there's always so much to talk about when it comes to this show and when it comes to this family, you guys. But I want to say this to the viewers, you guys. We do not know umndeni wakaMselegu personally. We do not have any personal interest in the family. What we talk about is what we think after what we watch on the show. Okay, we talk about that. We talk about our thoughts and we talk about our feelings because we are people. We cannot. It's impossible for us to not feel things in terms of us relating to the cast members. But I'm sure they more likely even do not watch shows, so don't take it personally. Uzuthathe ikhali and defend umndeni wakaMselegu and feel like whatever, just calm down with it, and just let's have a conversation in the comment section. Asibazi labantu, you guys, we do not live in those yellow houses, okay? So we talk from the perspective of being viewers. We are viewers. After we watch the show, what do we think about it? We are reviewers. That's what we do, you guys. So I want to talk about the possibility, you guys, that Uthando nesthembu as a show, Uthando nesthembu might actually be over. But I think that it's come to a point where it's very hard for the producers of the show to accept ukuthi kahle kahle they've run all the storylines that they can possibly run when it comes to this show, and it has to end. And I really think that the big part of that reason that they think that this show has not run its course is because viewers keep watching the show. It's like season 6, you guys, they are still getting viewership for season 6, yet people are complaining about the fact that they're repeating a storyline from season 5 because they did run that storyline in season 5, second number 5, and they're doing it in season 6. We are like halfway through the season, and they are talking about the issues that they talked about in season 5. So I feel like they haven't really come up with anything new except for Historis Kasne. There isn't anything new that they have come up with this season. Because even Historis Gampilo, Samahlaulo, we had dealt with that story a while ago. Now, Vusa Foods, because it seems like they don't know what else they could give us that is new and fresh when it comes to Uthando nesthembu. And I feel like, is there not a possibility that they have run this show and giving us all that they can give us when it comes to Ntando nesthembu? Is it not time that they accept to go to this is it, the show has to end now? I do understand that because people keep watching the show, because every season we keep expecting that something new is going to come, but nothing new comes, that they might be feeling like we like the show so much. But I feel like for me as a viewer, I'm starting to feel like, what is the point of watching? Because we keep repeating the same things when it comes to Uthando nesthembu. I do feel like somehow I do feel like maybe this show has run its course. It's about time that they end it. Maybe this is supposed to be the finale season for Uthando nesthembu, because I think that the producers are failing to be creative in terms of creating new and interesting storylines, you guys. Season to season, the story is the same. They talk about number 5, which wife agrees, which wife doesn't agree. They go see their families and talk about the issues that they're dealing with in their marriages, and then they take a trip, and then there's a few things that happens with the kids, and then it's the end of the season. So I do feel like, except for Historis Kasne, this season there isn't anything new that really have shown us, and we are halfway through the season already, you guys. So I don't know what's happening with Uthando nesthembu, but I do feel like maybe it's a possibility that it's at the end of the season already. It's gonna be hard, you guys, for them to cut the show, I think, because viewers are still watching, and we are watching because we think that we're going to get something new, and we never really do. But I do feel like the viewers might get to a point where they realize, listen, this show doesn't give us anything new. It's always the same thing every season, and we are done with it. And I think that might be the thing that makes them stop the show. But me personally, I feel like if I am halfway through the season and I'm still not getting any new storyline, in terms of the main cast members who are the wives in Uthando nesthembu, and the husband, I don't feel like I'm getting any my value for money basically when it comes to Uthando nesthembu. There is another thing, you guys, that I've noticed this season, because they did talk about, just before the season began, they did talk about the fact that umshado kaMakhumalo was going to be on this season of Uthando nesthembu. But if you think about it, we are in episode 6 and they haven't mentioned it at all. In fact, they were talking about Amalobolo Mangwabe when no conversation has taken place about umshado Kamakhumalo. And that is a surprise for me, because I thought that that episode is supposed to be the finale episode for season 6. And I feel like if it's going to be the finale episode for season 6, they should at least be giving us that storyline of Makhumalo preparing for the wedding, but we still haven't seen a single conversation about it. So what is happening with that? But at the same time, you guys, there was a time when Umakhumalo did a live. Umakhumalo did a live a while ago before the season began, where this was before she got married. So, and she said that they had shot the show and they were done shooting the show. She said, guys, I don't know when the show is coming. I don't have the dates yet, but we've shot the show. It was wrapped up. We are done with it. So we're just waiting to hear when the show will start. This was before her wedding, okay? Then her wedding come, and then everybody starts talking about the wedding is going to be part of season 6, which was very confusing to me, because at some point when people were talking about the fact that there were cameras at the wedding, meaning that they were shooting the reality show, I thought, okay, that means that Umakhumalo is going to be on Real Housewives of Durban season 3, and maybe the her wedding is going to be part of that show, because obviously she has already said that for Uthando nesthembu they are done. So if they are done with Uthando nesthembu and her wedding hadn't happened, it won't work out as the finale for Uthando nesthembu. It's probably for Real Housewives. But we also have heard that Real Housewife hasn't started shooting at all, so it's obviously not going to be on Real Housewives. It must be on Uthando nesthembu. What's confusing me is, like I mentioned, they haven't spoken about it. We are halfway through the season. They haven't spoken about umshado kaMakhumalo. That in itself makes me feel like maybe they do feel a little bit of what we feel. That when they went back, when they had shot the show and they went and they edited the show, they saw what we see too, that this season is not very exciting. There isn't a lot of anything really that is new except for Snape being pregnant. There's nothing really that's happening on Istembu. And maybe they went back to the drawing board to say, listen, can we just include umshado wenu as part of the season? Because if they were done already shooting, if umshado came when they had already shot the show, that means that the cameras just came to take footage for umshado to include it in season 6, because she said out of her mouth, Umakhumalo, that they were done already. That was before she even got married, you guys. So I feel like maybe they do have that feeling too, that this season is just not enough, that they felt like they needed to go back and get shoot Makhumalo's wedding, which probably happened after the season was done, because the fact that they're not talking about it, because if the plan was the wedding was going to take place in season 6, they would have started talking about it from the beginning of this season. We've done 6 episodes, you guys. There isn't a single conversation about umshado kaMakhumalo, which is supposed to happen in the last episode. which is supposed to happen in the last it's supposed to be the finale episode. She's supposed to plan the wedding, plan the whole thing, and then for us to see it in the finale. That gives me an indication it wasn't planned. If this wedding is going to be part of this season, it wasn't planned. It was an afterthought. Like, they shot the season, they were done, they were like, this season is not exciting. This season is boring. Even they felt like this season is boring, and they were like, "Hey, Makumalo, we heard you are getting married, sis. Can we just come and shoot your wedding so, so that you can include?" It's funny, you guys, because honestly, if that is the case, really, honestly, they are seeing what we're seeing. It's boring. Season 6 is boring because there is nothing new, you guys, that basically they're giving us in season 6. Anyway, you guys, I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it. Do you guys just feel like some Ntando, Uthando, nesthembu, you feel like all of the storylines they're giving us are still exciting? Would you, if you had to make a decision now, let's just say season 6 was the last episode, and you had to make a decision as a viewer if you want it back for season 7, would you say yes? Would you say yes without seeing the rest of the episodes that we're going to see coming next? Would you say yes to, if you had to vote, if you want season 7, you guys? Honestly, I don't know, you guys, because I just feel like, what else are they gonna give us? In my mind, there are so many storylines that they could have that will be so interesting for Uthando nesthembu. There are so many. I feel like there are so many storylines they could really focus on, but I feel like they're not willing to do it. I feel like for some reason the producers just feel like the story has to be about Mdletshe taking a wife. It has to be about that. But I feel like there's so much more that they could show us with this family. So it's like part of me just feel like they must just be done with it, because I feel like those storylines that I always think about, I don't feel like they're thinking about. They're always gonna give us one and the same thing that they've given us in the past 5 seasons. So they might as well just be done with this show. At the same time, I like the concept of the show so much that it will be said at the same time to let it go. It will be said to let it go, knowing Uguti, I feel like there is so much potential for this show, but I don't feel like they're using all of the storylines that they could possibly use for this show. So it will be sad to see it go, but at the same time, I don't want to watch the same thing for another season like we're doing now with season 6. We're watching the same thing that we watched in season 5. I'm very much interested to hear your thoughts, guys, in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Mpumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginithanda kakhulu.